Hello. I was about to say hello, Jash. I'm starting off this video really good, like no problems. But anyways, hello. I'm Jashikins, and welcome to another Jash Reads episode. Today we are finally finishing up Animorphs number 6, The Capture. That's right, folks. This is the final chapter. I need some drum roll. I don't think I can do the effects here, but have someone behind me on a drum. And, oh. Anyways, another example of it's a good thing I don't have a big budget. Okay, let's start it. Jake, are you all right, sweetie? My mom asked me that night at dinner. I looked up. I'd been staring at my food, I realized. Something with pasta and tuna fish. What? I asked. My mom and dad exchanged one of their worried parent looks. Well, you're not eating. Don't you like it? I shrugged. Sorry, it's fine. I was just distracted. My dad nodded. It's just a change from the last 2 nights. You've been eating like you were trying to eat everything in the house. I was? Tom cocked an eyebrow at me. What? Now you're going to pretend it didn't happen? Last night, you sat here and ate 6 pieces of chicken and kept yapping about how great it was. Then you ate a pie which was supposed to be for the 4 of us. I hid a smile. Of course. Axe. The Andalite had played me for 3 days, 2 hours at a time. Axe was dangerous around food. The sense of taste was still totally amazing to him. When he was in human morph, you didn't want to get between him and a bar of chocolate. Or a pie, I guess. You were a total pig, Tom said. Chicken, corn, potatoes, or, as you kept saying, potatoes, toes, toes. I thought you'd gone nuts. And were you suspicious, Yerk? I thought, looking at my brother. A new Yerk was in Tom's head. Another arrogant master of the galaxy. My brother was trapped in a small corner of his own mind, able to see and feel, but powerless to do a thing. I knew. I didn't sleep much that night. I did not want the dreams to come. I feared terrible nightmares of the eye that had stared at me from a different universe. But the only dream that came was a familiar one. I was the tiger. My brother was the prey. But in the end, I was my brother, and he was me. On the news that night, there was a small report on the closing of the new hospital. There was no explanation, but I knew what had happened. The Yerks knew their plan was blown. They understood that we knew about it. We had hurt them pretty badly. But I knew better than to celebrate. Vischer 3 would be more determined than ever to stop us. The next day, I did something stupid. At least, Marco kept telling me it was stupid. But he didn't object very much. He understood. We all met at Cassie's barn, and I used her dad's cellular phone to call Tom at home. I went partially into a wolf morph before I did, just enough to make the smallest changes, enough to change the shape of my mouth and tongue and throat, so that my voice would sound very different. He picked it up on the third ring. Yeah, I have a message, I said in a thick, twisted voice that did not sound at all like me. What? Tom asked. Don't give up, Tom. Don't ever give up. I hung up before he could say anything. Do you think Tom, the real Tom, heard it? Rachel asked. He heard, I answered. I wondered if he would have the strength to hold on. But I knew the answer. See, a part of my brother was in my own mind now, along with echoes of a long-dead Hork-Bajir and a simple Ged. And yes, even a bit of a Yerk with dreams of glory. Marcos smiled his sardonic smile. And is it true? Will we win? This is a very complicated planet, Marco. That's what I hear anyway. And it's a very strange universe. Anything could happen. And that's the conclusion of Animorphs number 6, The Capture. And it ended off on a high note. I like that the conversation didn't like, you weren't eating all that shit before, holy shit. And, Jake's like, hacks. Like, we get a little insight into what happened when Axe played Jake, which was awesome. A little bit of info there, especially as it involves more food. And while I will not suggest ever watching the Animorphs TV show, when they did the 2-part episode that covered the plotline of this book, we did actually get to see more of Axe pretending to be Jake. And there was also a cool little part in the 2-part episode where Shawn Ashmore, who played Jake in the Animorphs TV series, and his twin brother appear at the same time. And it's sort of cool when they're like, okay, how do we get the same character? Goddamn, this is why I do bear with the script. How can we get the same character twice in one scene? Let's use their twin. And if you're wondering, oh, Shawn Ashmore's in it, should I watch it for him? No, you have to suffer through the rest of the TV show. It's not worth it. I mean, unless you're like a really die-hard Shawn Ashmore fan, don't watch it for him. Like, don't put yourself through that. But yeah. And I like the ending of the book where Jake tries to give, Tom a message of hope. It's like, hey, hold on, hang in there, we're going to save you. And I think that was nice and sweet. And it was a stupid risk, but, Jake's just been where Tom is now, with Tom's old Yerk. So, please comment below with what you thought of this chapter. And remember, now that this final chapter is done, there's still the outro video to go, and that will be airing on Monday. So If there's a topic in the outro that you want me to cover, remember in the outro I do top 5 most memorable things, basically, of each book. No, top 5. So if you want me to include something, please comment and tell me what it is. And if that means the list has to be maybe 6 or 15 things long, that's okay. Okay? Just comment below. We can work this all out. And remember, no matter if you're commenting for suggestions for the outro or commenting just about this chapter alone, remember, no major spoilers. I would love it if people came into these videos that knew nothing about Animorphs and they're like, oh my fucking gods, I really am interested in this series. And, I don't want those people to be spoiled. And this only applies to the YouTube comment section because I can't not talk about spoilers because holy shit. But anyways, if you do want to talk spoilers with me and you're on the YouTubes, link in the description to my Tumblr Ask box. Feel free to ask me anything. Except whatever horrific image just came into your mind there, don't. And if you're one of those people that just watched this video and like, I actually really am interested in this series now. If you're on the YouTubes, link in the description. If you're on my blog, link below the video. And both links will take you to where you can buy your very own Animorphs number 6, The Capture by K. Applegate copy. Damn it, I worded it wrong. That's those links are where you can get your very own copy of Animorphs number 6, The Capture by K. Applegate. Yeah. And if you like this video, please, give me a thumbs up. I remember back in the day where they're like 3 or 5 stars or whatever. I remember when like the thumbs up or thumbs down came around on like that. That really limits me. Oh gods. But anyways. Oh shit. I ruined my flow by going back down memory lane. I should not get lost there ever again. And hey, please subscribe to me so you will not miss any more wonderful Animorphs content. And remember, I also do reviews. I'm going to be doing reviews of each episode of the upcoming Game of Thrones season, which I've like lowered my standards. So I've like really lowered them. So that probably means season 8 will be awesome now. If I lowered my standards so low, I'm like, oh, look it, they did this one thing differently. Oh my god, it's a better show. Oh gosh. But yeah. Don't worry, when I review things, I try to be a combination of objective and subjective. So I'm like, okay, this does not make sense story-wise, but it's still fun for me. I try to do that nice balance of technicalities and what I enjoy. So it's a lot harder than it seems. Good. I'm just preparing if I say one thing or a couple things that are off from the majority of the Game of Thrones fandom. I'm preparing for a shitstorm in the comments section wherever else I post it. Yay. And the bad thing is I can't drink anymore. Like I can drink water, but I can't drink alcohol. Acid reflux sucks, guys. And if you're watching this on my blog and watching on the desktop version of my blog, please choose the follow by email option. You choose that option and guess what? You will never miss a blog post by me ever again. And I don't just do these lovely dramatic readings, I also do little short essay thingamajigs. I also do post edited versions of my fan fictions. Yeah, and one post I am working on currently is a top 10 list of things I'd like from Game of Thrones Season 8, but I'm really allowing my fangirl side to shine for that one. So, like, if you don't, when it's released, don't bother coming like, well, this one happened because blah, blah, blah. I just want to make myself happy. And, actually, if you have a top 10 list of things you want from Season 8 of Game of Thrones, no matter how fangirly or, stupid you think they sound, just comment down below of this Animorphs video. I sort of need to just go on a script all the time, don't I? Because then I do these odd tangents that I don't know where they'll end up. Okay, folks, now this is the time. Get out your drinks, alcohol or non-alcohol. I'm drinking water right now because I finished my tea and then, drank water, or at least I do. Whatever. Anyways, just take your drink and we're going to finish the drawing, which is really lucky that we're doing now because I was worried that I'd still be working on this for the outro. And like, I don't know how I do that. Like, I don't want to do this segment during the outros. I don't know. I just find it really odd. So we did the background one day. No, actually, first we got these two lovely creatures here. Rawr, rawr. Then we got the background, then we messed with the background, then after the background, we messed with putting Jorah and Drogon in here. And I noticed after I was saying things off, I'm like, wait a minute, this is odd cut off, so it's obviously should have been raised higher, but still would have seemed too fucking odd. So yeah. So now we do words, and now each end of each segment of when I do this, I'm like, okay, after I complete the picture, I'm always like, hey, folks, why don't you decide on the words? And so, there's some fan interaction there, and no one has really replied, so either this is a tough thing to caption, or or people just want to see what the fuck I'll do. Now, here, I think when I talked about starting on this, I talked about my own little fanfic where Jorah's Azor Ahai. I mentioned that, we don't need a flaming sword because, long story short, in the fic that I'm currently working on, A Flame Extinguished, Lightbringer isn't an actual sword, and Azor Ahai prophecy is one of my favorite things to think about and speculate on, because prophecies in Game of Thrones are really hard to figure out. So I let my mind go all out there, sort of being situated in such a way where I don't get too crazy, sort of. So I play around. So long story short, he rides Drogon. Daenerys is dead. He rides Drogon. And if anyone wants to say, well, he's not, Dragon Lord, he can't ride dragons. Well, that's not necessarily true. There's been, even in the show's universe, I believe, has been mentioned of non-dragon lords riding dragons. So I actually I'm saying all this because I'm trying to still delay having to choose the words. And since this thingy-majig started off with the Azor Ahai prophecy thingy-majig, I guess we'll try to see if we can search some of the words. Now, in the past, I've had ideas for the words already, but this one, would need 2 or 3 weeks at least to decide, and I don't think you want to wait that long. a wiki of Ice and Fire. If you can see this, it's readable, hopefully. There are actually two Game of Thrones Wikipedias. One is for the books, and the other is for the show. And as there's such large differences between the two at time, I can definitely see the reason. Let's see. There will come a day after a long summer when the stars bleed and the cold breath of darkness falls heavy on the world. In this dread hour, a warrior. In this dread hour, a warrior shall draw from the fire a burning sword, and that sword shall be Lightbringer, the red sword of heroes. And he who clasps it shall be Azor Ahai, and the darkness flee before him. Let's see. Who clasps. Let's see if we can like switch the words up just slightly so it will actually work, because I don't want to put this whole long thing into this picture because that would just be way too much. So this Azor Ahai shall come again, and the darkness and and the darkness shall flee before him. Okay. As I see no objections. Yeah, no objections there. Your fault, folks. If you want to know who to blame, it's whoever's watching this without stopping me. Haha. Right. Or hi. I just imagine already people go, "Oh my god, this is horrible." I just love how the Game of Thrones fandom is at times. Not always good, mind you. I do prefer the Animorphs fandom, but because like there's no real problem with shipping. Like there might be some disagreements, but it is not as much as, oh, you mentioned Jorah Dany exists, and oh my god, you're disowned by your family. It's like, and then I also like that the Animorphs fandom can actually critique the work a little better. I mean, season 7 had shit. And yet, the majority of the fandom's like, oh my god, it's still great. How dare you say our. Okay. Actually. How dare you say ours? You're saying, how dare you say there's anything wrong? I'm like, ah. Yeah, like, but it's like an Animorphs fandom. If I say, oh yeah, I think Animorphs number 28 sucked. Like, I mean, people won't get really defensive, saying, "Oh, you're wrong. How dare you? I hope God kills you." And yes, I did see that. I did sadly see that when someone posted something negative about a very fan-liked episode. I was just like, really? Really? You're kidding? Like, you think God gives a fucking shit? Wow, what the waste of his time. I forgot how serious it is. But, you know, nothing like that. I mean, most person said, oh, but it had this part in it, and I like that. And it's like, oh, yeah, you're right. It is a good part. They didn't, like, get on me because I disagreed. I mean, there's still problems, like, for the Animorphs fandom on Tumblr. There is a... it's very social justice warrior heavy, and I've gotten into problems with that in the past, so I tend to stick away from that. And I will say, if you want to start getting into the Animorphs fandom and you're not really agreeing with the social justice warriors and you're not part of that, or you have very adverse reaction, go to maybe Facebook or somewhere else, get into the fandom first, and then, get into the Tumblr fandom FU or, on the site. But, there's a way. There's the way to do it. I mean, I've been a fan since I was, goddamn, maybe 9 or 10. So, it's like, well, I've, I can't stop being a fan. I've been a fan for so long. It'd be real. I stopped for a number of years and I come back to it and I have dreams about red-tailed hawks. So, like I never left. Okay, here it is. Azor High. Okay, let me flatten it. Azor. Actually, let me unflatten that. I got words. Okay. Azor High. Sorry, I'm getting position of this. I wish I could get a nice little graph here to position everything. Actually. Damn. That's the good thing about being a little anal about some things. The bad part is, yeah, this goes into my real life, like editing and stuff. Like, oh, that's great. It's a good thing to have, and it's make sure you do things better. But then you're talking to people, and it's guys, yeah. Well. Okay, here it is. Azor High shall come again, and the darkness shall flee before him. I think that's good. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not going to mess with the whole transparency of this. I think it was worse enough that I took up time saying, yeah, hey, yeah, yeah, it's down position. Ta-da. Okay. So that's it. And let's end. So, next Jash Reads episode will be the outro video to Animorphs number 6, The Capture by K.A. Applegate. And I am going to be do top 5 things I noticed. So if you do have something you want me to talk about, please comment below so I can actually talk about shit you're interested in. And there's going to be actually no second video tonight, so bye!